All right, so Lucid hooked us up with these cars. They're all electric. We got two different models. It's the only two models they make. It's the Air and the Gravity. With them being all electric, the difference now is most of the weight's going to be on the bottom of the vehicle where all the battery packs are. We got these shell vehicles over here, so we'll look where those battery packs actually go. The framework of this, it's like a skateboard frame. So you got the whole underlayment of batteries and your wheels, but they're still a unibody construction. After we look at that vehicle, we'll go to one of those vehicles that's more put together. We'll show the cut loops they have that shuts down the high voltage. It only shuts down all the components of the high voltage, but the lines still have energy running through them because they're still connected to the batteries. It's just like the Teslas. They're all on the front and the passenger side, and it literally has like a fire department helmet that's going to show you where to cut. They all run on the 12-volt system as well, so they got those batteries if you need to DC them.
So that save us from airbags or not really?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay, so it doesn't really...
That's just shutting down all of the components that are operating off the high voltage, but there's still energy in the battery packs as well, because that doesn't kill like the lithium ion batteries. So this is how they're stored in these containers here. And it's gonna run pretty much from your front wheels all the way to your back wheels. This whole thing's gonna be filled with batteries, and it's a shit ton of batteries. Each one of these boxes carries like 6,000 cells. Here's this cut loop. They're in the same spot on each of these cars. Always gonna be the driver's side up in the front. So when you do cut this, take a chunk out of it. It's not just one cut, because we don't want this thing reconnecting to each other. So just take a piece out. It's just like the Teslas. They have the exact same signage on it and everything like that. So this will all be covered in plastic, so we'll have to remove the plastic to be able to get access to it. So here's all the equipment that we're gonna use. Paratex with the extension, because these are the 6 foot maxed out, and we're not really able to reach with those 304s. We'll use the grip hoist, and one of the truck companies labeled it, the buyers or something, right?
I think so.
Labeled it, so now you guys can easily tell which way is the load and which way is pulling. And then, yeah, we'll use some chain, we'll use the bag, and then the truck's now equipped with all this Milwaukee equipment, and then we'll see over here that using this Sawzall compared to the cutters might be the way to go on some of these C-posts with how wide they are. So on this vehicle, we'll set up dirty side tie back. There's plenty of ways that we can stabilize the vehicle. Our primary stabilization is just going to be our chocks. We're going to go on the clean side. We're going to chalk the vehicle. Secondary stabilization is when our Paratex come into play and we're actually stabilizing the vehicle. On our standard car, we have all of these purchase points we can grab, but now there's going to be batteries coated through this whole thing. So stabilizing these is going to be a little bit different. We can run 2 struts on either side, tie it back, or we can run a solo strut in the middle, but we're missing this whole piece on this one, so we can't do it on this one. So we'll run 2 struts simultaneously. We'll tie it back to the vehicle. Another way to stabilize these is on the front side and on this dirty side here, making that tension buttress. That's another way, but just for this training, we're gonna leave that whole side clean. The whole working area is gonna be clean. We're not gonna have any struts on that side. So we'll work on the dirty side tie back. With these batteries, we want to avoid penetrating these batteries at all costs, bending, crimping, cracking, whatever. When these batteries get damaged, they'll go into some thermal event. And then once it goes into a thermal event, it's going to start off-gassing. That off-gas is actually hydrogen cyanide, some bad shit. So not just like your standard combustible motor where we're up there with no mask on. I'd wear a mask if you see this thing smoking. And it's not just from the passenger compartment where all the plastics are burning. It's the actual batteries. I'm sure you guys have seen hella videos of these things catching fire. Water does not help them. It actually creates a chemical reaction, and it causes every battery to go into that thermal event. But since we're the fire department, we carry water, and a lot of people are just dumping a ton of water on these vehicles. They've had cases where they load these on tow trucks. Those tow trucks catch on fire because all those batteries didn't go into that thermal event. As well as all tow yards now are required to, if these are in a collision or have gone into some type of thermal event, they have to store these for, I think, a minimum of 3 days in a separate area away from any other vehicles, because they've had countless times where these things have caught fire multiple days after the event. Yeah, Joel, we're gonna do a dirty side tie back.
So the batteries aren't here, but they are here?
Correct.
That's where they would live if they're installed?
Yep, and that's why it gets that skateboard frame, right, is because it's just the whole base of this is all gonna be batteries from wheel to wheel. And then, yeah, they took all the batteries out, so we don't create no issues or anything like that. So yeah, we'll set up a couple struts, we'll do a dirty side tie back, and then we're gonna do a roof removal on the other side. So all this glass is gonna be laminated. It's like dual plated glass, laminated. So we noticed the Sawzall was working pretty good on cutting it. And then they're all like the moonroofs, like the Teslas. All these airs are. So the whole entire thing is all a moonroof. So in a real scenario, if we pop the glass and we can get a patient out, let's get the patient out. For this training, we're just going to do a full roof removal of it. So we're going to cut all the ABCs and then fold that roof down. All right. We'll use 93 as our anchor point. So primary stabilization, step chocks, and then secondary is going to be our Paratex.
No, we're good with what we did, but
Yeah, that's
how
fine.
these are- you see these, Ryan? Basically like these are just like-
Just taunt, because we're going to pull the pressure right back onto these struts.
So let's extend that a little bit into the right spot. Get it to bite. Okay, now give me one more crank on it and you should be good. Yes, sir. Danny, watch yours to make sure you don't go loose. Oh, and then right there, you just a little shake. As long as it doesn't shimmy, you're good.
Yeah, and then we're also going to pull some back pressure on too, so that's plenty right there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to run chain from one side to the other side, creating a V, and then that's what our tie back's going to attach to. Our grip hoist's going to attach to.
Can we? So we were talking about this F3s.
So
We don't have
you're looking at probably
come along here.
8,000
Can we still use webbing and just rig up a dirty side tieback?
100%. You could use ratchet straps.
That's what we were doing.
Because the weight of the vehicle really pulling, it's not a lot.
That's all in some.
Thinking about that. Is that good right there?
Yeah, that's fine. Typically, like in our combustion vehicles, we want to avoid suspensions or anything like that. But with these cars, there's not much
lot of
option to
options.
do. And then, like when a vehicle is flat, we're working with 100% of the weight, right? When we're trying to lift it. This thing's on its side, we're working with 50% of the weight. But we're not lifting this vehicle. All we're doing is pulling backwards pressure onto these struts. So it's not really pulling much. So yeah, like what Trent can do right now is he can just put his hand on the side of the vehicle, and once he feels that vehicle come back onto the struts, that's as much as we're going. We don't need to go any further.